Wow, what an incredibly unbelievable end to the regular season it was, seeing the Chargers and Raiders in a slugfest. Fourth down conversion after fourth down conversion. Craziness. But the Raiders came out on top, and the playoff picture is finally clear. In the NFC, we have the Packers getting a first-round bye. Cardinals would take on the Rams. Rams, of course, at home. 49ers at Cowboys. Eagles at Buccaneers. In the AFC, the Titans ended up clinching the first round bye after a couple of different things happening today, including a win over the Texans was the biggest thing. Almost a huge comeback. The crazy thing is about this, as we see the Raiders at Bengals, Pats at Bills, and Steelers at Chiefs. The crazy thing about this is the 2021 NFL season has felt as unpredictable as a season ever has been. College football is pretty crazy too, but the NFL, it felt like you had no idea who was going to win on a week-to-week basis. So the playoffs, I would almost suggest fading me and picking against me every single time, because I think whoever you think is going to win is just not going to end up happening for one reason or another. But let's go ahead and try to decide my playoff predictions. If you guys are new here and like NFL videos, I'm going to be posting a mock draft probably tomorrow based on the actual set draft order for every team out of the playoffs, and then predicting down the stretch based off record. So fun mock draft of who you think your team might draft. Let me know down in the comment section of that video. But this video is the playoffs. This is going to be very interesting. Let's go ahead and start with the NFC. This one's a real toss-up, starting out with the Cardinals and Rams. Just feel like the Cardinals have kind of been figured out a little bit of late, but the Rams really haven't looked so hot either. So it is a real toss-up here. And home field advantage, I don't really think means a ton with any of the LA teams, to be honest. Maybe more so for the Rams than the Chargers. The Chargers just don't have that, amazing fan attendance and support every single game. But the Rams, a little bit more. The Rams are a very solid team. Injuries have hurt them, of course, and they've invested so heavily to be in this position. This one could go either way. I think I'm going to take the Rams. The Cardinals just haven't really looked as great of late to me, and the Rams are a bit of a question mark too, as I said. This one could go either way. I feel very 50-50 about that one. For the 49ers and the Cowboys, 49ers just beat the Rams. Real slugfest back and forth too. I think Ambry Thomas had the game-winning interception for San Francisco. The Cowboys have looked very good. Obviously, one of the best offensive coordinators in the league in Kellen Moore. Their offense has been incredible, but so is their defense. With Dak Prescott, with how good their defense has been, it's going to be very tough for me to pick against the Cowboys here. So I will take another home team. And then Eagles at Bucks. The Eagles have kind of limped into the playoffs a little bit. They have one win over a team who went 500 or better in the Saints. I think Nick Sirianni did an incredible job even putting the Eagles in a position to be in a playoff game, but I just don't think they're going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the defending Super Bowl champs and the Buccaneers. And probably against my better judgment, I'm going to pick 3 home teams to make it out of the first round here in the NFC. Now over to the AFC. It's going to be real weird here again as well, because the Raiders and the Bengals feels like a real toss-up. The Raiders, as I said, just escaped victory over the Chargers, and the Bengals in their last real game they played with their starters and all that was a narrow victory over the Broncos. And I don't know, man. I feel like this one could be just like Cardinals Rams, where it's a coin flip, and I really don't have any one sense to go, one way or the other. However, the Bengals to me have felt a little bit better lately. I think Joe Burrow's been playing like an MVP. Jamar Chase is heating up again. He had a little bit of a cold stretch about midway through the season, but then had a crazy back end. Their offense is really good, and their defense is extremely underrated. They have a bunch of really good players. And yeah, the secondary could use some improvement, but that front seven has some real good players, especially on the interior. Love Larry Ogunjobi, but DJ Reader was particularly good for the Bengals this past year. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm going to say they managed to pull this one out. And then Pats Bills. I don't think this is as easy as just picking Buffalo to win. Home field advantage at Orchard Park. The Patriots are an up and down team with a rookie quarterback, and I don't know how much you can weigh the recent loss at Miami. The Patriots always lose a game at Miami, it feels like. Brian Flores, I believe, the head coach of the Dolphins, has won the last 3 matchups head-to-head against the Patriots. So That's interesting. But over the course of the season, we saw the Patriots win a really weird win game against Buffalo, where I don't think either offense could really get much going outside of just running the ball. I think Mac Jones had, one or two completions over the entire game, maybe 2 or 3 attempts max. This is a really, really weird one because I don't think we can refer to the previous games because that win game was very, very odd. I think the Bills are slightly better, and what it's going to come down to for me is picking the more experienced, better quarterback in Josh Allen over Mac Jones. I know I'm teams win games, not quarterback versus quarterback, but in this one where I think both teams are evenly matched, I will give Josh Allen and the Bills the edge, and then I got to take the Chiefs over the Steelers. The Chiefs defense under Steve Spagnuolo has been so good the second half of the season. They were off to a real rocky start, but really figured things out and have been incredible this second half of the season, even a little bit before that as well. Offense, obviously, we know what they can do. It's all a matter of how healthy is this Chiefs team going to be. Because if they have Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, who are banged up in this past game, if they're playing and healthy, I like the Chiefs to win this game pretty easily. Don't trust the Steelers. Their offensive line just isn't good enough, and Big Ben, it's his last game for a reason, probably. So I think the Steelers, again, under Mike Tomlin, have done a great job to get in this position, but I think they're just coming up against a better team. And once again, I'm going with 3 home teams. I really don't like that because it's just not what happens. But if I had to flip-flop any, I might go Raiders or Cardinals. But I do think it's going to work out this way. It feels very odd. I know. 3 home teams in each conference winning. I don't like it. But I do think those teams are good enough to get those wins. And that would set up the divisional look like this. Cowboys at Bucks, Rams at Packers, Bills at Chiefs, and Bengals at Titans. Now, here's where things are going to start to get a little bit weirder in terms of the picks, because right away, I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think this is going to be a really, really fun game. And again, it could go either way. Both very, very good teams, the defending Super Bowl champions against one of the better teams in the league this year. I just think that the Cowboys have a slight advantage. I don't think the Buccaneers, who are kind of banged up in the secondary and have been all year, I don't think they're going to be able to account for the incredible receiving core that Dallas has. And that doesn't even just mean CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, and I know Michael Gallup's been injured, but Cedric Wilson's played well, and their tight ends are really good too. For Tampa, I just don't think they match up all that well. They're still a really, really good team, and it wouldn't shock me to see the Bucs back in the Super Bowl even, but I do think the Cowboys have a slight edge here, and then I'm not going to pick against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at Lambeau. It's just not going to happen, especially coming off a bye. I think they're going to have a game plan in place, for both teams, and then even, narrow and key in on whoever actually makes it out of the wild card. But either way, you get an extra week to prepare. I don't really think that Russ is going to be too much of a concern for the Packers, and at Lambeau, especially for a team that usually plays in a dome, I probably like the Packers to win this game. I just don't think the Rams are going to be able to compete. Now, and yes, Matthew Stafford has experience playing out in the elements. I know at Ford Field is inside, but obviously would have gone to Lambeau once a year for his entire career leading up to this. But still, I think the Packers will have the slight edge there. And then Bills at Chiefs. We've seen this before. Really, really fun matchup. I think that at Arrowhead and the Chiefs in the playoffs, I just can't pick against them. Once again, I think it's a toss-up. I've been saying that about a lot of these matchups, but this season of the NFL has been so unpredictable. I do think the Chiefs are right up the top as one of the best teams in the league, though. I am going to take the Chiefs over the Bills, and then I'm going to take the Bengals over the Titans. Derrick Henry may be back for this game. In fact, he probably will be. That first-round bye is so important for the Titans because you do get Derrick Henry back probably for the divisional. But I think I'm going to ride the hot hand of the Bengals. The Titans have been a little wishy-washy of late, and even over the course of the season. I mean, this is a team that lost to the Jets, right? And they lost to the Texans earlier in the year, too. And I just think that the Bengals are red hot right now. And for a team that has a history of not going very far in the playoffs at all, I'm going to have the Bengals winning their first 2 playoff games. It's a different head coach. It's a different era under Joe Burrow. This is not Marvin Lewis anymore. It's Zach Taylor. He's probably going to get a lot of Coach of the Year consideration, if not winning the award outright. I'm going to have the Bengals moving on as we advance to the conference championship. Cowboys, Packers. It's so tough to pick the Packers to lose at Lambeau. I think I picked them to go to the Super Bowl last season. I think I had Packers, Chiefs last year, and it's looking a lot like that again. But I don't know. Could be different. The Cowboys are so good this year. But man, I think the Cowboys are better than the Packers. Despite a better record for Green Bay, I think the Cowboys, top to bottom, are a better team. But the Packers, first of all, are an extremely well-coached team as well. And they have home field advantage. And it's Aaron Rodgers playing with this crazy year. Might even win an MVP in back-to-back seasons. I'm going to take Green Bay at home. I just find it too difficult to pick, especially an indoor team in the Cowboys, to go out into Lambeau and beat them. I just don't think it's going to happen here in the playoffs if this were to be the matchup. And the Packers historically have not been amazing in the conference championship. I know my Giants have given them some problems back in the day. I have to hold on to something, right? But and that's why you're picking the Packers, because you hate the Cowboys as a Giants fan. Yeah, you caught me. And then in the AFC, this one could be a real shock Bengals win. Arrowhead is another really tough place to play, though. And not because of the elements, because it's one of the loudest stadiums in the league. Should be another very high-scoring game. The Chiefs at times have not looked great. But I am going to take the Chiefs. And that, of course, brings us to our Super Bowl, which is what I had last season. Packers, Chiefs. And I don't know. This one's real tough. How do they match up? Well, we have the Chiefs. Very high-powered offense when everybody's healthy. The Packers have some real good players on defense. Would Jair Alexander be back for this game? Very quickly, you can use code Bengal on SeatGeek, SeatGeek. Find it in the App Store. Whenever you're buying tickets for anything, use code Bengal. You'll save $20. I'm not saying go out of your way, right? But if you're going to go to a baseball game, football game, basketball, concert, anywhere that you're going to buy a ticket for, if you're going to already, use code Bengal and save yourself some money. Why not? It looks like the Packers will be gaining back David Bakhtiari and Jair Alexander for this game pretty much no matter what. Those are two really big additions to potentially win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are great. Should be a real fun matchup. I'm going to pick the Packers to win the Super Bowl. So that's my final bracket. So, of course, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'm sure we're going to come back to this video and I'm going to be completely wrong. But this is what I think could happen. Do I feel very confident about it? Not particularly, but it's the best that I have right now. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And please complain because I had your team losing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
Insane, I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah, promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah. Taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speedbird's good.